Check it out, everybody. We are live here. It looks like December 3rd. Let me know if the volume seems a little bit high. It seems like it is on my end. I'm having some microphone issues, but no big deal. We're always going to press on for a show. For those of you that are watching live or recorded or on the podcast, as always, thank you for tuning in. We are working on Tuesday, December 3rd here, 3 days into our December, again, on that final home stretch of 2019, getting you ready for 2020 as we talk about some of the things that we could have done better, some of the things we're going to do better in 2020, and some things I want you to look forward to in planning. I was in a nostalgic mood talking about regrets, and so I pulled up the lyrics of the Frank Sinatra song, Regrets. I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the way, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. That is on my playlist. I absolutely love that song. And that's going to be kind of our theme today as we talk about some of the things that over the past decades in business that I wish I would have done differently. And some of these are going to apply to your life also, but specifically business. So, pull up a chair, get a piece of paper or an iPad, fill up your coffee cup, stretch, pop your neck, do whatever you do, as we're going to talk about some business regrets and the lessons we can learn from them. Okay, let's get started on this party. Hey everybody, thanks for watching, and thanks Vinny. A little echo, but volume is okay. Yeah, for some reason the Blue Yeti that I normally use is on the fritz. I cannot figure out why. Maybe time for an audio upgrade, right? So we're going with the microphones built into the Logitech C920 camera right here. But as long as you guys can hear me, okay, good. I won't yell, I won't be really subtle. I'll just be my standard self and won't really worry about the microphone problem. So who cares about all that? Regrets. We've all had them in business. We've all gone back over the years and seen things and kicked ourselves for not doing things a different way. And that's going to be the topic of the show today. So I appreciate those of you watching live. If you do me a favor, tag a friend that might be willing to share this. Share it yourself. And as always, comment below with maybe some of your business regrets, and we can jump into those because the flow of this show is going to be kind of fluid. Look at that. I'm a little bit of a poet right there. The flow of this show is going to be kind of fluid. So I'd love to hear about your regrets also. So we're not just talking about my regrets. We're talking about some of the regrets that you've had in life, in business also, and what you would do differently. For those of you that are new, as always, I'd like to make sure you know who this is. It's Patrick Allmond from StopDoingNothing.com and Focus Digital Marketing, headquartered in Oklahoma City. I'm going to have to make sure I stop leaning on the desk like that because it makes the whole room shaky. And there are times for some shaky rooms, and there are some times for not shaky rooms, and this is a time for not a shaky room. Anyway, I run Stop Doing Nothing Coaching. I run Focus Digital Marketing, a marketing agency headquartered here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And for those of you that ever tune in, internationally, and you wonder where the heck is Oklahoma? Well, if you look at a map of the United States, we're the middle state, and we are the middle city in the middle state. I don't know if you put crosshairs on Oklahoma if we'd be right in the middle there, but we're darn close. If you know where Texas is, look up from Texas. If you know where Nebraska is, look down from Nebraska. From California, you look right, and from Florida, you kind of look up and left a little bit. You'll find Oklahoma just right there in the middle, and that's where we are today. I did want to cover a few things before we get into the regrets. The other day, first of all, always follow us on social media and on iTunes and every place. YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all those places. Do us a favor and just make sure you're following us there. The other day in the YouTube comments, someone asked how to get a shirt. I was wearing one of my branded Stop Doing Nothing shirts, and they really liked it, and they posted in the YouTube comments. And I said I was doing a giveaway, and I do that occasionally. And if you want one, or if you're interested in getting one, either text me your email address at 405-217-4752, that number right there on the phone. Just text me your email address, and I will add you to the email list, and that's where I pull the drawings from. Or just go over to the website at StopDoingNothing.com, and there are various options there to get on the email list, and that is where I pull the information from. So yeah, I have these pretty cool black shirts with white lettering on them that just talk about different phrases, and they say Stop Doing Nothing across here and something else on the back, so they're pretty darn cool. So that's the phone number right there where you can text me your email address, and I will get those back to you. And I guess I really shouldn't have multiple overlays on at once there, should I? And as always, like I said, follow me on the other social media accounts. So let's start going through the list here of different things that I've learned over the years that I may not be that great at, or that I wish I had changed sooner. These are the things that when I go back and I looked at the day I started my business, which I believe was early in November or October of 1998. These are the things that I wish a Patrick from the future had come back to me in my very first horrible business trip. That's going to be a good story sometime. And told me, hey Patrick, you really need to do these things as soon as possible, so you don't screw up things. And so if I ever have a time machine, this is what I'm going to go back and tell myself. The first one is probably, these are actually in no particular order. Probably the first one here that I listed, though, that came to mind when I was prepping for the show is farm out the stuff that I'm not good at. When you first go into business, you have to do everything. You really do. You have to do everything from take out the trash, to make your own cup of coffee, to run your own video shows, to build your own websites, to do your own marketing, do your own travel, answer the phones. I mean, everything. And that's just, for most people that go into business as a solo person, that's just the realistic part of it. I mean, you're going to do everything. Friday you're working for the man, and you get Saturday and Sunday off, and come Monday you got to wake up and everything is on your back. Washing the windows in your office, taking out the trash, just everything that you kind of take for granted. And you obviously can't farm out everything right away, but probably what I would do, like I said, is I would find the things I'm good at and farm out the other things as soon as possible. And those include things like copywriting, which I know I'm not good at, and I looked at people for those. Farm out certain parts of my marketing task, which I know I'm not great at. I'm decent, but I'm not. There are certain things that I just know I've seen people do amazing work at, and that is not me. Specifically, also some of the business management tasks. I was so happy when I finally found a good accountant. And for those of you that are starting up a business, or if you've been in business for a little while and you want to scale and you want to make sure that things get done right and you cannot stand playing with the numbers, find yourself a good accountant. I'm going to give a plug here for a service I use, and the only association with them is I pay them money every single month. It's a service called Bench for accounting, and you can use my affiliate link at stopdoingnothing.com/bench. I'll put that in the comments later, but I absolutely love Bench and my local accountant because they keep an eye on my books daily. I use Bench for the day-to-day stuff and the reconciliation and the categorization of stuff. And so I know at the end of every month, within a week or two, all my books are in order, everything's categorized, and I've just got the reports. And that's what you really want in business, is you want to know the results of your effort. You don't really care about the minutia and the detail. You don't really care about the line items in QuickBooks or Xero, whatever your accounting package is. Who cares that, this trip to McDonald's was a business lunch, or this thing at Starbucks was a business meeting? You care, total, how much did you spend on dining out for the month, and how can you reduce that next month, or how can you make sure you get an ROI on that stuff? And that's just, I think, business maturity. You learn to focus on the bigger things and not the minutiae so much. And for years, from day one I went into business, I was using various accounting programs and just managing my daily numbers. And I hated it so much that I would slack it off. And all of a sudden we'd get around to November, December timeframe, and my accountant would say, "Hey Patrick, we have to prep for this stuff." And all of a sudden I would have to catch up on all that stuff. And there's nothing. There are a few, not nothing. There are a few things worse than trying to go back 6 or 7 months and look at, and yeah, that's how it was sometimes, 6 or 7 months, and look at a transaction and say, "Oh heck, what was that transaction for? I have no idea what that store was," because it was on a business trip, halfway across the country in some bizarre one-off store, and you have no idea what that was for, but you got to reconcile it. So again, find a local accountant. Maybe for the big stuff, the tax reporting, the payroll, things like that. And then if you want to get started on it today and basically find an online service that does it for you, go to Bench, or actually use my link, stopdoingnothing.com/bench. Go to Bench, tell them Patrick Allmond referred you, because I talk about them all the time, and they'll give you a free month. And I think I get a free month out of it also. But it's such a relief now to basically just have month-end reports and know what is going on with my business. And I don't cross my fingers and hope I'm profiting and hope I'm not blowing away a lot of money. So accounting is one of them. Website building. I am a marketing agency. I do run a marketing agency, I guess I should say. And I am halfway decent at WordPress, getting things done in WordPress. However, I am not a graphic designer, and I'm not a website designer. I know I know what a good one looks like. I know what a bad one looks like. I can give advice on one, but I know really good graphic designers. I've got a really good website designer that works for me, and the skill it takes to do things like layouts and color matching and gradients and triad building when it comes to colors and all that stuff that comes to website design stuff, I've never been great at. I've just been okay at. And so I would farm that out much earlier. So we've got the accounting work, we've got the website design. Probably something else I would farm out much easier, much sooner, is the answering of my own phone. I know that sounds kind of cheesy and it may sound a little bit egotistical, but I have a service now that answers my business phone. So when you call the Focus digital line, no matter how many people work for me, it would always go to my cell phone, or I may have it routed to someone's cell phone. But now I have a service, not really an answering service. I pay, I have an office basically front that handles all my mail and handles all my phone calls. So if I'm ever busy and I can get the calls routed to someone else, or they can get sent straight to voicemail, which I then get via email. And that really helps, for example, and puts a level of professionalism on your business. Here in Oklahoma City, I use a service called PC Executive Services, and I think I pay like $99 a month, and they answer all my phone calls in a very professional manner, whether or not I'm traveling, I'm on a plane, I'm busy, things like that. A real human being always answers my phone. It's always the same person, and it's always a kind, courteous way. And you can even set up rules with them to, say which department do they want, and they'll route that to somebody else. I tend to have a remote team, and so everyone's working from home or wherever they're working from, and so we don't have like one central office with all the VoIP phones right there. So look at a service like that to put a professional face on your business. It's going to be a little bit of an expense, like I said, $99 a month, which isn't much in the grand scheme of expenses right there, but the professionalism and the consistency is really worth it, especially for those of you that travel. If you're ever, it's nothing more frustrating than to get off when you're taxiing in. Let's say your American Airlines flight lands and you're taxiing in, you pull up your email, all of a sudden you've got a bunch of missed calls and voicemails for someone that's really urgently looking for you, trying to give you money. That totally sucks. So put a professional face on your business and find a phone answering service as soon as possible. So I might come back to that, but right off the top of my head, those are some of the things right there that I regret when it comes to doing it with my business. And again, if you have any kind of regrets of yourself over the past X number of decades you've been in business, drop them in the comments below. Vinny, I'm sure you and Deb have learned probably 10 times the stuff I have learned right there. So again, drop that in the comments below. Some of the, one of the first ones I skipped, okay, we're going in order right here. Take more risks. You're going to see that I'm going to talk a little bit about being conservative on certain things and not being 100% your true self. We have a big issue in our society of people giving a different persona online and a different persona offline. And that happens 100% of the time. And I do it. I will 100% admit I do it. So what you see online is maybe like 90% or 80% Patrick. But when I first started doing videos or first started presenting myself in public to people, it was more like a 30 or a 40% Patrick. It wasn't an 80 or 90% Patrick. So, and that is one of the risks I'm talking about right there. Risks when it comes to travel, risks when it comes to adventure, risks when it comes to marketing. All these things are risks, if you will. And you risk looking like a fool, which I do a lot of the time. You risk embarrassing yourself, possibly embarrassing your company a little bit. But what can also happen is you can have some massive growth opportunities. And my biggest client, I still tell the story to this day, my biggest client came from me taking a risk in an airport once and talking to a stranger, which I'm perfectly comfortable doing. I have no problem talking to strangers in the security lines, because trust me, you're going to spend some time in some security lines if you travel in the airport, and you might as well get used talking to strangers. And I met a really good business lead in the security line of Oklahoma City Airport. And long story short, that turned into a massive amount of influx and money in my business and a government contract. So that one I did very well. So that kind of segues into another thing that I probably wrote down here is be a 100% version of me. We can't be a total 100% version online or in our videos or in our marketing, but you can get pretty darn close. And like I said, I'm probably 80-90% transparent on this. When somebody hires me for consulting and I travel out there, or I go out for like a full day of coaching or consulting, or a full day a week coaching consulting, the person that was on the phone and that's on the video is the same person that shows up in the meeting. There's no difference. There's no fronting, if you will. And again, that took me, there was some fear there, and it took me a while to get over that, but I'm very comfortable with that now. And I'm very comfortable with stuff like the way I dress. I have a business meeting, I have a business meeting all day Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I'm speaking in Dallas. So I travel to Florida Friday from here, and then I'm speaking, like I said, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And what you see me wearing right here, you can't see, I don't have jeans on, I have sweats on, but for the most part, I'm going to be working in a t-shirt, jeans, and probably some nice shoes. Probably be some nicer jeans. But that's another area there where I'm trying to be 100% transparent, is I want to dress with what's comfortable for me, and it just may not be for everybody, and I may find some clients that don't necessarily like it. Some people may consider it not professional, but when I'm working, when I'm talking, when I'm speaking, when I'm doing coaching or consulting, when I'm traveling, I've learned I need to be comfortable in my clothes. And as much as I like a good suit and tie, I cannot be 100% comfortable in a suit and tie. I can't relax. I can't emote. I can't express myself. The clothes weigh me down. So I've started in all things basically dressing more casual to the point where I'm comfortable. And when I'm more comfortable, I deliver a better product and I deliver a better value to my clients. So I'm, again, trying to be more comfortable and more happier with the clothes and in my skin, if you will. Something else I have on here on my list right here, which is somewhat meta, is I wish when I had first discovered social media, and Patrick was instantly termed a social media expert because I dove into it. As much as I dove into it, I did not go deeper into the audio video aspects of social media. And I'm specifically talking about the things I'm doing right now. I did not go deeper into my YouTube channel. I did not go deeper into Facebook video or Instagram video, or I'm not going to be a TikTok person. That's just chasing the dream right there. But I wish in my marketing I had gone deeper into video sooner. The people that I admire now that basically took advantage of internet video sooner, or social media video sooner, are killing it. And not necessarily because they took advantage of it sooner, although that definitely helped, but a couple of factors. One, they took advantage of it sooner, and they were 100% transparent on things. And so going back and looking from lessons in my past business, that's one of the things I wish I had done. There's that transparency item again, and then there's wishing I had adopted social media video earlier. So every single time now I see a platform that offers a new video function or a new way to do video, I jump on it. I really do. As you can see, I bought video lights, I bought microphones, I bought cameras, I bought some really good video editing software, so I'm using Ecamm now on my Mac for this. I'm using Final Cut Pro to edit my videos. I export all that stuff over into Libsyn, which is where my podcast lives. I wish I had definitely done that my very first day in business back in '98. Now, granted, a lot of stuff wasn't there, but you know what? The internet was maturing, and the internet was coming about, and I probably could have taken, a VHS camcorder if I had thought about it, a VHS camcorder, and made internet videos, and you could have downloaded them on your 28.8 or your 9600 baud modem. For those of you that even know what that kind of stuff is right there. So if you're someone who is considering or trying to really up your marketing game, consider going deeper into whatever modality you're comfortable with. And for me, it's internet video, and that's actually going to segue into something else here. But again, it's not hard. I mean, goodness gracious, I bought a foam pack that surrounds my office here, a foam that basically baffles the sound. That had to have been less than 50 bucks. The ring light that I'm using right here, probably 20 bucks. This camera, this really good HD camera, is $99. This microphone down here that isn't working right now is $99. So the tools to do video are really cheap. There's no excuse financial wise not to do it. You put $300 on a credit card, you've got a pretty decent video setup. Even this right here probably cost me, the sign behind me cost me 60 bucks. It was next to nothing, and that was strictly for branding right there. So do not give me any weak-ass excuse that you don't have the money to invest in internet video. It's just there. Now you have to be comfortable with it, and I am comfortable with it, and I'm learning stuff every single day on how to do it better. But money is no longer an excuse, and I can tell you, marketing-wise, it just really scales you up and puts you a level above anybody out there doing blogging or doing podcasts. And don't even get me started about how you can basically reverse all the video stuff back into blogging and back into podcasts. 100% cool stuff right there. So going deeper into social media video, probably here we're getting towards the bottom of my list here, learning my best communication modality, I call it. And we all learn and communicate in different formats. And so maybe about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, people learned about a really easy piece of software called WordPress, and there were other pieces of software out there also, where it made it very easy to blog, and blogging was a very big thing. You gotta write, you gotta put images out, you gotta write. And I tried blogging, and it wasn't really for me. I am not that great with the written word, and I had to learn that. Through time, and through Toastmasters, and through NSA, I learned that my best communication modality is what you were seeing right here, is speaking. If I want to communicate an idea to someone, or I want to teach someone something, the best way for me to do it in person is to have someone hire me and come out and I work with their company, or if we're going to do it remote, to just do it on Zoom. Don't do it via email. Don't do it via a speakerphone. Get on a Zoom call and talk so people can see what I'm talking about and see my expressions and see what I mean. So over time, I've had to learn that speaking is my best modality. Now, I'm not the best speaker, but I have learned that I get things out a lot faster. And I'm sure you've heard that before, when you go back and forth with someone via email, and then you pick up the phone, and all of a sudden, you can communicate in 30 seconds, which was something that was taking 20 emails back and forth. So that may not be your best modality. You may be more of a speakerphone person. If you're the person who's going to do online media, you may be more of a podcast person, and you may be more of a blogger. I know a lot of people who are still deep in the blogging world. They are great with the written word. To me, that just takes a lot of time and a lot more thought process, and probably just a lot more energy than I want to do. If I was good at speaking and I wanted to turn those into blog posts, which I do sometimes, there are services for that, like rev.com. That's a really great service to basically transcribe your stuff. However, what I'm getting very comfortable with is doing videos like this right here, which I can crank out on a regular basis pretty fast. I do planning for these, but I don't do like in-depth hours and hours and hours and hours of planning for these. But I can crank one of these out, get it uploaded, and communicate that information to you, and then get that up over on the podcast with a very small post-production cycle, if you will. If I was to do a blog post, I would have to come up with the idea for the blog post, sketch it out, write a good opening, write a good closing, write the actual words, which involves me sitting down and pecking out words, then pass that through someone who is very good at grammar, and to basically fix all the Patrick mistakes, because there would be a shit ton of them, and then to get that scheduled. And meanwhile, while someone's working on that, you have to work on the next blog post, and the next blog post, and the next blog post. So when I was doing blogging, I would basically have to just kind of think a couple of weeks ahead of time of subject lines, and you're always writing. And there's a certain amount of energy and a certain environment you have to be comfortable with when it comes to doing your writing, and that's just not my modality. My modality is speaking. So getting comfortable with that is something that I wish that I had learned earlier on in the journey of being an entrepreneur. So kind of again, as a quick recap, and again, I'd love to know your comments below about things that you wish you had learned better or learned earlier in running your business. I talked about, let me see, what did we talk about here? Farming out the stuff I'm not good at. Taking more risks, and I'm still working on that one to this day. Going deeper into social media video was something I had written down. Be 100% version of me, no fronting. Please work on that. That is a big issue. I'm involved a lot in NSA, the National Speakers Association, and NSA is full of people fronting. When they are on stage, they are a certain character. When they are, after hours having a drink or having a steak, they're a completely different character. It's one thing if you're actually going to be a character, But if you're just trying to be someone who's coaching or consulting like I do, or communicate a thought or an idea, try to be the same person 24/7, no matter what environment that you are in. It goes a lot, I think, to credibility, and it goes a lot to people just being comfortable with you. People are going to see you on videos and on the internet and on stage and just basically think they're your friend, and what you don't want happening is for you to walk off stage or for you to be at the drink having a bar with someone and you're a completely different person. Hopefully not an asshole, but you just want to be the same person 24/7. And that, like I said, that also has to do with your persona, what you wear head to toe. I'm just trying to keep all of that consistent, be 100% version of me, and learning your best modality, which, like I said, for me is speaking right there. So Vinny, brother, as always, thank you for tuning in. For those of you who kind of pop in and out of the live show, I saw some people coming and going in and out of the live show. I thank you for watching. As always, please make sure you follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, on iTunes, on iHeartRadio, on Spotify, on all those places. And as always, I welcome your feedback after the show is done. And don't forget what I talked about earlier on the show. If you want a Stop Doing Nothing shirt, either text me at the number, which I'm going to put on the screen right here, your email address, or go over to the website of stopdoingnothing.com and use one of the forms there and fill in your email address. And that's how we select an occasional shirt winner. So again, thank you everyone for watching live. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, which will be our last live show of the week. And I'm hoping to get some pre-recorded shows in for you on Thursday and Friday. You guys have a great December 3rd. And let's get through this and push on to December 4th. Take care.